It's me. I'm back. So you may be a new viewer of my YouTube channel, or maybe you've been following me for a few years. The topic of this video is me explaining why I didn't finish my music degree in college. So when I was in high school, I wasn't really thinking of my future past high school. I thought I was going to be an engineer, basically, or something science, math related. Uh, that was kind of my strong suit in school. And uh, I was in a band and we played a lot of shows and just I became obsessed with music. And once I started getting better at guitar, then I really wanted to learn theory because I wanted to just understand what I was playing, basically, like why did certain sounds and certain chords and notes work well together, how come some didn't. So I've been playing guitar for a number of years, and by this point, I played trumpet in the marching band as well and symphonic band. So my senior year, I was on this website called musictheory.net, and it had just loads of free music theory lessons. It taught me a lot, those free lessons, and I actually remember once I started taking them in college, like a lot of it was like review because of all those free lessons that I was consuming in high school. So once my senior year of high school came, then I decided to pick a major. And I told myself, well, I love music and this is what I love to do. So I'm just going to learn as much about it as I can. And my plan was to study at a community college for 2 years and then finish at a university, 4 year university for the last 2 years. So the next year, I enrolled at my local community college to pursue an associate's degree in fine arts with a music emphasis. You have to pick an instrument when you study this degree, and mine's classical guitar. So when you enroll in this program, you take classes like music theory 1 through 4. So those are per semester. This class called aural skills, or some people call it sight singing, 1 through 4. You have to take class piano 1 through 4. You have to be in an ensemble every semester, and then you have to take a couple music history classes and also private lessons with your teacher for your instrument, basically. And then also gen eds on top of that. So that was just for at the community college level to get my associates. Some of the classes I took were just kind of useless in my opinion because I never applied my knowledge of Bach's, early life outside of the classroom. I've never applied my knowledge of serialism and cluster chords, which are talked about in atonal music and music theory 4, outside of the classroom. Either way, they're required to get this degree. So, also, some of these classes are only offered during a certain semester. So, if you don't pass one, or if what happened to me is not enough people would sign up for the class, and then I'd have to wait an entire year to take the class. So if they decided to cancel class piano 1 because not enough people signed up for it, well, that's only offered in the fall. So I had to wait a whole nother year to take, you know, a type of class like that, right? So after being there for longer than 2 years due to those reasons I just said, and also another reasons of that I won't get into. I only had to take I only had to retake one class. I think I got I was just kind of lazy one semester, and I didn't get a C in the class, so I had to retake it. But then I got a B in the class later. And I was really thinking about like, hey, what is this degree gonna actually offer me in the future? And when you study music at a 4 year college, you can get specialized in your degree, and it offers a few fields for a bachelor's. So you can do your bachelor's degree in performance, so which just means you are studying uh, to be a really competent player of the instrument of your choice. You can go into composition, which is, composing music, writing music, and that could go for like film, or it could go for anything. Theater, you can, or education. You can be like a band teacher at like a school, and then a few others that only like certain colleges provide that have kind of uh, they're not as common, basically. So I pursued a music degree just to educate myself about music, and I wasn't thinking about like, hey, what am I actually gonna do with this degree by itself? And I love music for playing live and being creative, writing music, meeting new people. But I also had a real life to worry about because I was working at a grocery store for part time for $9.60 an hour. I was there the whole time while I was at school. I had a car payment to worry about. I was living at my parents' house. I had car insurance, food, gas, bills, and I didn't necessarily want to be a high school band teacher for the education side, even though you can do other things with an education degree like private lessons. I wasn't into musical theater. I loved writing and composition, but I didn't see how that was gonna like pay all those bills I had on top of college loans. So I decided to audition at multiple four-year universities when I was done with my associates, and I was ready to pursue a music education degree. So when you transfer to a four-year school of music, you have to audition to get in their music program. So not only do you have to be accepted into the university alone, but then you have to be accepted into the music program by itself. So I would audition, I would pass the auditions, and all of my credits from my community college were accepted into a few schools, and I got offered some scholarships and grants to go. And in the end, after all of that, I looked at how much my tuition was going to be, and it was like anywhere from like $50,000 to $80,000 and in tuition alone, and that doesn't even count like housing or all the other expenses. So I thought, on top of all these bills that I have to pay, I'm gonna owe this much money to this school on top of that. And my parents had just enough money for me to basically go to community college, and they didn't have money just to like pay my college loans off. So that was going to be all on me had I decided to do that. So after a lot of thought of me going, okay, I'm going to owe all this money to this college. I'm going to end up owing all the money for just bills that I have to pay, like on a day-to-day basis. And I'm still living at my parents' house, and I don't really want to be involved in music theater, or I don't know how I'm gonna pay my bills by playing like gigs every weekend at like a bar. And I know there's exceptions. I know some people can make, a decent amount of money in like cover bands and stuff, but at the time I didn't like kind of, see that option just because it was so overwhelming. So I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna pursue my bachelor's degree, even though I only had a few classes left. But it was just going to cost me so much money that I just didn't have, basically. So I decided to go a different route. I decided I'm going to learn audio engineering. So I go to this kind of like this like trade school in Nashville, where I paid $10,000 to learn audio engineering at this condensed 4-month program. By the time I graduated, I came home and I was looking for studio work. I started applying to all of these different studios, and like giving them calls, emails, like, hey, do you need any interns? Like, I'll work for free. And all of them would either say, no, we're booked. No, one of them said, like, we don't even want anybody. Like, we don't even want free work. Like, we're good with what we have. Like, it's kind of a tough industry. So then I was like, oh man, so I guess I didn't really have a huge job market for that either. So after that, I was like, okay, so I got to find a job. So I worked various jobs. I did landscaping, warehouse work, and then I ended up doing private lessons for a couple years for guitar. And it was kind of funny when I did that because I ended up having the same exact job as some of the people who decided to finish their bachelor's in education or whatever. And we had the same job. We were paid the same. And I ended up working in an entirely different profession after that, so I could basically pay my bills and not be broke. So some of my friends who went to school with me ended up doing cool things. Like one of them ended up working as a musician on cruise ships. One of them is on tour with like musicals and Broadway and stuff. And there's also a lot of them that did exactly what I did, where they got their degree and then ended up basically as a job doing something else, or took up side jobs to pay the bills, and then they have to do music after work or on the side, basically. So what did music school give me? I mean, it gave me a great education, a great networking opportunities. Some of my best friends are musicians, but I realized for me, finishing my degree just didn't make any sense. I didn't have the money. If your parents pay for your whole education, then that's awesome. But in my opinion, you aren't guaranteed a job just because you have a 4-year degree, and that's not even just the case with music. A lot of times, it takes knowing the right people to help you out in networking, and it also takes a lot of work and dedication and creativity. Music is still a huge part of my life, and I practice and write every day. I hope one day that that's all I need to do to pay my bills. But so for now, after a long day's work, I will try to make videos, write music, practice to become better. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. It would help me out so I can make more videos for you guys. So thanks for watching. Till next time.